So now that we've stuffed a little pillow and we put our 2 pins, we put our seam allowance on the inside and we pinned it, now we're going to do something called the whip stitch. And usually you would use a color that's not going to show up on the outside very much, so maybe red thread would have been the best, but I don't have red thread, so I'm going to go with this black thread. And the way that we do this, and also wanted to remind you about, when you stuff your pillow, that these pins need to be, like I said, set aside, because the point is to keep the pins away from the stuffing, because the pins can get caught in the stuffing and then you would wind up stuffing your pillow with pins. And that, of course, we don't want. All right, so our next step is to flip the pillow around to this side here where your pins are and where it's stitched up already, and we're going to go in backwards in through this hole. So I'm actually going to pull this out so I can show you the hole. We're going to stick this in because we want to hide the tails, these tails at the end here. We want to hide those on the inside. So what I'm going to do is put it here, grab a little bit of fabric, and when I pull it through, watch how it just goes hiding on the inside. That's what we want. So now I'm going to put that pin back in because it's going to just help it to stay together while I'm stitching it. So in through the fabric and pop back out. And we've got our thread here attached. The whip stitch is actually the easiest stitch in sewing. All you need to do is go through the back like you're lacing a baseball. So you go in through the back, close to the last stitch, not grabbing too much like a big chunk. You're just staying on the surface and pulling it tightly. And you keep doing this till you get to the end. So literally it's just like that. Through the back, squeeze it tightly, through the back, through the back. Like I said, easiest stitch in sewing. There is no back stitch involved, no running stitch involved. The whip stitch is different. It just is a whip type stitch. And you're going to do this till you get to the very end where you're going to do your final tie-off knot, cut off your threads, and you are done with your little pillow.